Good morning. I've been thinking today about how many times I take a request to the Lord and then He follows that up with some kind of instruction that doesn't seem to make sense. Just like when He turned water into wine in John 2. So Mary comes to Him and lets Him know that the wine has run out and kind of looking at Him like, what are you going to do about it? And He ends up telling the servants in chapter 2, verse 7, fill the jars with water. Huh? We got plenty of water, and yet that's His instruction. And then He tells them to take some out of it and take it to the master of the feast. The master of the feast needs wine, Jesus. And He is telling us to take Him a cup full of water? This doesn't make any sense. Of course, as we read on down in the chapter, once the master of the feast tastes the wine, he says, most people serve the good wine first. You've saved it to last. Because along the way, a miracle. It reminds me how often the Lord does that in our lives. That we take a request to Him, Lord, I need a job. And He says, why don't you join that Bible study that's down the street? Or we say, Lord, I need a friend. I'm really looking for a friend. And He says, go next door and help your neighbor clean their yard. And sometimes we wonder, Lord, are you even listening to the request that I'm laying before you? And He gives us instruction for the next step. Because see, He sees the big picture and He knows that along that way of obedience, the answer to the request will be found. That He is working in a way that only He can do. We need to remember that we can trust Him. Yes, we first and foremost bring those requests before the Lord. We don't need to try to fix it on our own. Let's bring them directly to Him. But then when He instructs us in a way that seems a little confusing, let's be faithful to follow through in obedience, knowing the miracle is on the way.